Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Yarnflakes Podcast. My name is Audrey and this is a nitty yarny podcast from the southwest of France. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me for this new episode. I hope that you're all doing very well. I have three projects to share with you for this episode. One nice pattern release, another big finished object, and a new work in progress. So yeah, 3 garments, 3 rather big projects, and I'm sorry, but my dog is really noisy and I can't leave her alone because she's really upset at the moment for reasons that upset us all, but she's just a bit confused. Would you come and show yourself? Viens bébête. Allez, Nessie. No, you're just staring at me. Come here. Yep. There it is. Hello. So, any grumbling, bad breathing, annoying background noises, it's her fault. It's her fault. You upset? Yeah, I'm upset too. Anyway. I didn't really want to mention what was happening, but yeah, because she's noisy and you're gonna hear her. Anyway, our other dog, he's off to the vet. Yeah, we don't know how it's gonna go. Anyway, and she just can't stay alone because she knows something bad is happening, so... Anyway, I am going to start with the proper episode, and yeah, I'm writing down in the video description timestamps, so if you want to skip any section of the podcast, feel free to look at them and jump ahead. You will also find links to everything that I talk about, as well as my social media and patterns on Rauma. I am going to start right away with a new pattern release that I have just put live on Ravelry, and I believe you haven't seen it completed. I think I've showed you the beginning of it and I've mentioned the yarn company and everything, but you haven't seen it all. So here it is. This is the Rust End cardigan. So it's my first cardigan design. Do you mind? I have a few cardigan designs in mind. I do prefer sweaters most of the times, but yeah, I do have a couple of ideas for the cardigans, and I think they are really nice as well. And so it's top-down raglan cardigan, so you knit it back and forth. Sleeves in the round, and you have this colorwork detail at the bottom of them, which is kind of like a mountainy sort of geometrical thing. And then you pick up neck and front bands, and yeah, it's a fairly straightforward, really simple construction, super easy to adapt. I have redone my calculations for this raglan. I wanted a raglan that was a little bit more fitted here, a little bit more coherent across sizes. What? Breathe. Just breathe. You don't need to be so noisy. Yes, you do. Okay. I wanted to make it a little bit more coherent across different sizes, and so I've redone my ratios. I believe I mentioned it in the past episode that what I find most complicated with raglan is the armhole depth, because you have to handle the length of the raglan, the armhole circumference, and the bust circumference as well. And so I was able to redo some math, change things up a little bit, and I am quite happy with the result, as this is a little bit like, it's still comfortable, but it's a little bit more fitted across all sizes. So yes. Besides that, it's really simple to modify. Should you wish to add shaping here, should you wish to do a bunch of different things, you know, you can check my testers' versions who made a lot of modifications, which I always encourage. One of them in particular, she wrote, she added the colorwork from the sleeves at the bottom of the body as well, which is brave considering she had to do color work flat, but it looks absolutely brilliant and I really like it. So yeah, neckline is higher at the back, and for me it's an open front, but obviously really easy to add buttonholes and buttons should you wish to. I think it would look quite nice if you were to just button the top, you know, that's a style that some people do over a dress or something. So yeah, I wanted something that was really wearable. As you can see, I'm just having like jeans and a tank top, but that still had a little bit of an original detail. And the colorwork motif is very simple. You have to catch floats like around here, but as usual on my colorwork patterns, I do incorporate quite a lot of help if you're a beginner in colorwork, and I think this is really appropriate for colorwork beginners should you wish to venture into that design. And yeah, it was fairly quick to knit for me because I made it rather short. It uses fingering weight. It's a 24 stitches gauge, and the yarn I use. So this pattern is born out of a collaboration with Nomad Noose, so which, if you don't know, is a brand that is based in Switzerland, but they are collecting fibers and hand-spun yarn from Nepal, Tibet and Mongolia. And they have a really interesting ethic, a really interesting way of working, and what they're trying to do is really nice. So they carry a range of different bases, which are always really luxurious fibers. What I use for this design is their 100% yak base for the main color, which is the softest thing on earth. It also has a ton of drape. It's absolutely beautiful. And as you can see, it bloomed really well. It makes a really coherent fabric, which makes me think that it's going to be so warm. Stop snoring, love, please. Va faire dodo. Allez, va coucher. Allez. Not listening. She's not listening to me. My authority is not that great with dogs. I'm very good with cats, not with dogs. Although I do love them as well. But yeah. It is so soft. I'm wearing it just with a tank top, so it's straight on my skin. And it is so luxurious. It's really nice. The contrast color I used is different. It's their Sartul sheep base, which is a Mongolian sheep. And oh my god, I believe I said it when I started working on this design, but this is the softest wool, sheep wool I've ever seen. It's really close to the yak itself in terms of softness. It's just perfect. And yeah, so one, the fibers are quite luxurious. Two, it is handspun, which is, as you know, labor intensive. And what I really like about Nomad Noose is how they are trying really hard to provide a sustainable way of working for the women they hire in Nepal. And so, as a consequence, obviously, the yarns are very precious and really expensive. I have made the calculations. It's around 30 euros for 50 grams, which is big. But yeah, like I said, it's particular. It's a really particular fiber. So I think you have to go with a really special project, like grab a skein or two and make something like a really precious cowl or mittens, or you could use only one of their skeins. To the contrast color uses either 25 grams or 50 grams, and yeah, get a different base color. If that is in your means and if you'd like to support them, they're going to have kits available. I'm recording this episode a little bit in advance, so I don't have all the details yet, but there will be kits available for the cardigan should you wish to get the whole yarn, and should you actually be able to afford it. The price range is going to be between 150 euros to 300 euros depending on the size, and that is big. So I also wanted to mention that they are launching a Kickstarter in a couple of days. When this episode will be live, the Kickstarter will be live as well. So I will definitely put the link to it in the description. What they want to do with this crowdfunding campaign is... What on earth is she doing? She is trying to eat hanging clothes. They are willing to improve a bunch of things for their workers. They want to have a better workplace for them, for example, one where they can bring their children. They want to provide them with better spinning wheels, so it's more comfortable. And they also want to buy in advance the fiber from herds in Mongolia. So that is really good to ensure a sustainable income for breeders, just so that you know that your next fleeces are already paid for. And I think what they're doing and what they want to do in terms of providing these people with a sustainable income for their families is terrific. So if you want to support that, I highly encourage that you check it out and you see what you want to do, if you can afford their yarn or not, or if you just want to check their stories, because I think they're really interesting. Now, the cardigan is, like I said, fingering weight, and it works really well with any type of fingering weight. It's really easy to find an alternative for this. So you can check my testers versions who use the various array of yarns. Obviously, your typical hand-dyed superwash merino works well. Basically, any fingering weight which you like the look of colorwork in will work. So yeah, I did want to mention two yarns in particular that I think will make great substitutes. The first one, and I've already showed it to you when I got it because I plan on making a design with this, is Rosarius 4 Camel. So this is a yarn that you can buy from Rosa Palmar web shop, which is the Retrosaria shop from Portugal on their website. And this is a blend of fine wool and baby camel. And why am I believe that this will make a great substitute is because it really has the luxurious softness similar to the yak. So I think this will make a really lovely to wear cardigan as well. They also have a good array of colors, so you can make a lot of different associations. And in terms of pricing, this is really reasonable. This is €5.30 for 50 grams. So yes, that is good. This is like the thread is really nice as well. It's lovely. And there's also a brand that I really like, and I think I really want to put forward a little bit more, which is BC Garn. And they have a bunch of different yarns that will be suitable. For example, their organic Shetland yarn, which is a fingering weight, will work wonderfully. But I wanted to mention their cotton blend. So this is 55% organic wool, 45% organic cotton. And this is lovely because it has like some sort of a scrunchiness and rustic feeling that I think will look really good in this cardigan. And since this is a cotton blend, I think this will make a really nice lighter cardigan, since after all we are in May. So stop snoring, Jesus Christ. I hope it's really, I'm sorry. I know I should stop apologizing, but there you go. Deal with it. But yeah, I think this will make a really nice substitute as well for the cardigan. So yeah, I do encourage you to check out Nomadness work, just to be aware of them, and check out their social media if you're interested. But I am fully aware of the price of their yarn, which, like I said, handspun luxury fibers, and the will to provide a sustainable and reasonable and fair income for the people who work for them is really important to me. However, I know I wouldn't have been able to afford the yarn myself, especially for a whole garment, if they didn't give it to me for the collaboration. So that is why I wanted to mention alternatives, and always know that I am available to provide help and trying to find out what kind of yarn would work for you, because I always think it's so interesting to see how different a design look in a different type of yarn. and I'm really interested in that, and I believe it's important that we see a lot of different things. So yes, there is a little coupon code for the cardigan if you like it. It's the code RUSTEND, and it will give you 15% off the pattern, and this will work until Sunday, I believe. That's how I will set it up. So yeah, the link to the pattern is in the description, and you will find there all the information you need and the tester's version if you are curious and need inspiration, because they all did lovely color combinations and different ones. So like I said, you have a way of making yourself an idea of the possibilities. So yeah, I think I have said everything. Yeah, I now have to use the magic of editing, because my next work in progress is as well a garment. So my next project I want to share with you is finished. It's a garment, and I'm going to wear it to show it to you. So she's very baby-like. She always likes to be like near you, under your feet, like she's currently right under me. She's really sticky kind of dog. She's like a little baby, which is cute. I finished my Longan, I don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce it, sweater, which is a colorwork yoke designed by Marie-Amélie Designs, which is a French designer but provides her pattern in English as well. I have used the English pattern, so I certify it works, in case you needed my certification, which you don't. But it is great. I love it. So I have done a couple of modifications, especially regarding the fit and everything. My gauge is off because I didn't swatch, which means that my sweater is looser than what it was supposed to be. And so it all kind of worked together, because I like cropped 3/4 length sleeves sweaters. So the fact that it's bigger, it goes with that style as well. So that is how it is, 3/4 length. As you can see, the sleeves are straight and then slightly gathered at the cuff. I did one less decrease round than what was indicated in the pattern, just because I didn't want it to be too tight on my forearm, since my wrist would be tinier, so I wanted it to be comfortable here as well. And yeah, I really like the fit of it. I think it's really cool and comfortable. And yeah, my gauge is like 24.5 stitches per 10 centimeters instead of the 26, which is the pattern. So that's quite a big difference. But with the yarn I used, I think I like it like that. I wouldn't like it to be tighter, I believe, so that it remains flowy and everything, you know. This does mean that the neckline is more open than what I would like, but again, that's my gauge. But again, it works together. The fact that the neckline is more open, it's cropped, it's like loose and comfy, and I can wear it with dresses as well, and I think it all works really nicely in the end. And yeah, I really like it. I really like the result. So I used Rauma Finull PT2, which is the Norwegian wool, and I just think it works beautifully. Obviously, the colorwork is really neat. Again, I'm going to say it, the colorwork chart is super fun to do. In the end, you have a few more throats to catch, but nothing terrible. It's just working so well. It's so beautiful, and I do really like that I decided to go for a darker contrast color. I think I much prefer the look of this sweater like this. And yeah, I really like it. I like the drape of the yarn. I like how soft it is. So I have more yarn left than what I thought. I have like about 3 skeins left, 3 balls left of the main color. So I'll definitely get some more and make mittens or things, because I really like the yarn, and it's rather soft. It's rather soft. It's nice. Yeah, really enjoyable pattern again. It did go quicker for me because of well, I did it shorter, and also my gauge made it quicker. I often hear people say that, oh, a sweater on 2mm needles is too long. That's not no. A sweater with a tight gauge is longer to knit. But whether you're using 2mm or 4mm needles, if you have the same gauge, you're gonna take the same time. Really, the gauge determines the size of your stitches and basically how long it takes you to reach a certain length. In my case, it was quicker because my gauge was bigger. But yeah, and I did use 3.25mm needles, which is smaller than what the pattern recommends for, and yeah, I got a bigger gauge. So you see, giving away needle sizes is completely useless. But people always ask for them. I wish I had a t-shirt that says needle sizes are useless. I kind of want to do that. Maybe I can do that, like a spreadshirt type of thing. Anyway, I believe I said everything on this design. I really, really like it, and I think it's fun and really wearable. And yeah, I like the colors, I like the yarn. I'm really happy about it. And I believe I said everything. Where are you going? Oh my god, she's cute. She's cute. It's the problem with her is that she's too cute for you to be truly annoyed at her. I'm sure you if you have pets, you see. It must be the same with children. Yeah, so I'm gonna go into my last work in progress, and it's a new design that I started. And a few months ago, I was contacted by Jardin de Laine, which is literally Garden of Yarn, which is a natural indie dyer. Well, she actually has another brand, the Artemis Yarns brand. But she contacted me to know if I would be interested in designing with her naturally hand-dyed yarns. Oh my god. Naturally hand-dyed yarns. Snores is gonna be the title of this episode. And I said yes, because I really like more and more naturally dyed yarns. I think they have a really unique aesthetic and a really good process. And looking at her universe and everything, and I sort of went into the garden, natural flowery type vibe. And I remembered this stitch pattern, which is from a well-known stitch dictionary. I mention it because it often comes to my attention that a lot of knitters don't know that stitch dictionaries exist. And yeah, you have a huge amount of books that contain a lot of different stitches. Sometimes stitches that are older centuries and things. And a lot of designers use that for inspiration, and they're going to modify it more or less depending on their wish and design. And yeah, so that's why sometimes you can kind of spot similar stitches in different designs, even though the designs have nothing to do with one another. But yeah, sometimes I see people wondering, why is that motif the same as this designer? Are you copying them? And like, no. That's not necessarily the case. Stitch dictionaries exist. And so I decided to use that particular stitch found in a stitch dictionary, and I sort of modify its placement and tweaked a few things. I rewrote the instructions because I'm really happy about that, is that I am more and more efficient, especially with lace, at finding the right stitches. Because for example, well, I'm gonna find a stitch, an old stitch in a dictionary or whatever, and it's going to have instructions with stitches that are too complicated for what they are, and I'm now more and more able to see, oh, but I need, like, that type of stitch actually looks better, or I like it. It does, not that it looks better, is that I prefer it. I prefer the look of it, I prefer how it works. And so I'm more and more able to make lace motifs my own and tweak them so that they fit my design. And that's really interesting to do. And that is what I've done with this one. And so it's this scalloped edge motif. You can see with twisted stitches, eyelets. It's a lace that actually doesn't look so bad even when it's not blocked, so that's really fine. That's really nice for me, so I can actually show it to you. And yeah, it's a bit tangled because I'm alternating skeins, so I have 2 balls of yarns attached. But yeah, you can see how it is a little bit, and it's gonna be the hem of drop shoulder sweater. And so yeah, I'm on the stockinette portion. It's gonna be a rather fine gauge because I'm using her sock yarn, so it's 75-25 merino nylon, and I'm knitting it at quite a fine gauge so that the fabric looks good. I started actually just the stockinette, and I am going to incorporate the creases so that I have sort of a A-line shape body. Yes, I see you, I hear you, everyone hears you. Oh god. Yeah, so this is how it's gonna go. It's going to be like drop shoulder, like I said. I'm gonna have a little tweak on the cuffs and around neck as well. And yeah, I'm really liking how it goes so far. I think I'm going to be on the body for a while because, like I said, a rather fine gauge. But if I want to get it tested on time, I need to kind of bust my butt a little bit because I want to give my testers as much time as possible so that they're comfortable knitting a rather fine figuring weight sweater. And yeah, somebody else said everything. Oh, I didn't say the name. The color was dyed because I asked the dyer again with what plant this was dyed, and it was dyed with Catechu. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I tried to analyze the phonetic signs on Wikipedia, and I came out with Catechu. I hope it's okay. If it's not, it's still kind of cute, Catechu. That is what it's dyed with, and I kind of wanted the sweater name to be in that sort of gardeny, natural, plant-like vibe, and I think Catechu, it's nice. And I think the color and the motif, they go well. Like, everything sort of matches, and I really like that. And yeah, I'm really happy of the modifications that I was able to do on the motif itself. And yeah, so far so good. And I think I have said everything that I wanted to share for this episode. I hope you enjoy, including the snoring of the little dog, but that's how it is. I'll see when editing if that's really awful or not. But yeah, sounds like I have a little vacuum cleaner roaring around. It literally what she is, a vacuum cleaner, because like our house is so clean with her, like everything we drop, I just whoop. Anyway, I wish you a very rest of day or night, and I will see you very soon because in a couple of weeks I will have other announcements to make, and hopefully it will be more silent. But yeah, I will see you next time. Bye!